Hi, I'm Noah Barasa, the commercial real estate broker for today's leading entrepreneurs. Okay, just because we're all locked up at home and can't go anywhere does not mean we can't still have some fun and interview today's leading entrepreneurs. So I'm bringing you the MarTINY Shot. Yes, that is the mini version of the Martini Shot, but with the same goal. Let's interview today's leading entrepreneur while they're in quarantine and figure out what's still making them tick. This is the MarTINY Shot. Welcome to the MarTINY Shot, my mini version of the Martini Shot, where I'm bringing you amazing conversations with today's leading entrepreneurs. And today I have a good buddy of mine, Brandon Willey, founder of Hownd. Welcome. How are you, bud?
Hey, doing as good as I can be out here stuck up at home. So it's all good.
World. Why don't you do us a quick favor, man? Obviously, you and I are friends. Why don't you introduce yourself to those who are watching? Give a quick overview of Hownd, and then we'll kind of go from there.
Sure. So yeah, as you mentioned, I'm Brandon Willey, founder of Hownd. We've been around for just coming up on 4 years. We're nearing our 4-year anniversary, started in 2016. And Hownd generates effortless foot traffic for small, local, medium businesses, and kind of the local businesses that are all hurting and shut down right now. So those are our customers.
Nice. And so since it is the MarTINY Shot, the small version Martini Shot, here we are. We're grabbing our favorite cocktails. What are you drinking today? Let's pause it. Because we normally be at your local watering hole, where would we be if we were actually to shoot this? Let's give a little shout out to the local businesses, support local.
So I live in South Tempe, and I'm within walking distance of Cotton and Copper. Absolutely 100% love Cotton and Copper. You could probably find me there at least 2 or 3 times a week and on my own, with friends or with my wife and kids.
Nice.
But no, Cotton and Copper is hands down the best. I would be drinking, if I were there, I'd be drinking their Sazerac because they make a phenomenal Sazerac. It's one of my favorite drinks. I just bought some absinthe to try to do it on my own. I'm nowhere near their level of quality, so I did not make myself a Sazerac today.
Well, maybe we can get them to try to show us how to do it online or something through this. So cheers then. What are we drinking now?
Yeah, cheers. So this is my version of what's called a 17th Street. I don't know if that drink actually exists anywhere, other than one small little speakeasy bar in Newport Beach area. Just opened my eyes to it like 4 weeks ago, before kind of the whole shutdown. Kids were on spring break. Went to this speakeasy. It was like the last time we were out in public with human beings, and got this phenomenal drink. And I figured out how to make it, and I've been enjoying it ever since.
Alive. Well, do you have a famous toast or anything you like to say when you do stuff like this?
I don't have necessarily a famous toast, but if you don't mind, in honor of my grandfather, this is and he's still living, thankfully. But any time that we get together, and there's like more than 3 of us, he's a famous beer drinker, loves beer, so he always stands up and he says this by memory. And just says, I just came in here to say hello and have a friendly beer, but 2 led to 4 and 4 led to more. Now they're gone, but I'm still here. I've been standing here at the bar all night, quenching a fiery thirst. I've got suds in my eyes from too many guys till I feel like I'm gonna burst. Now they say it's a bitter sin for the family man. He'd better just take 2 or 3, then tell them to tear this rail out of here and send it home with me. Where they say that liquor is a terrible sin and you'll end up where it's hot. But that suits me because I want to be with the only friends I've got. Cheers.
Cheers. That might be the best cheers we've ever had. And we've had some different languages. We've had all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
So let's kick right into it. It's quarantine, obviously, whether that's fortunate or unfortunate, depends how you look at it. What's your setup like? Obviously, you're working from home. What's kind of your daily, what do you have going on to keep you insane when it comes to working?
Yeah, so I've tried to keep my daily routine as much as possible. I work out every morning. I get up about 4 every morning anyway. So I get the workout out of the way, actually in the same room. So this is doubles as like a gym, an office, a library, and I got wine around the corner. And then I go to work. I double time between here because kids staying home and they're trying to school, and so it's hard to get a lot of concerted, focused work done. And my wife also works partially from home, and then she's an essential worker, so she's also works out part of the time. So when I'm not here, I go and I work at the Wayne Smith. I don't know if anybody knows about that, but that's South Tempe, right around like Broadway and Rural, kind of central Tempe. There's nobody there. It's like completely empty. So I'm actually more isolated there than I am here because I at least have my kids here. But anyway, those are the two spots.
Are you guys doing homeschooling? Are they old enough for that? Or?
They're going through they just started their digital schooling. So they do about 3 to 4 hours a day. They check in online on Zoom calls with their teachers, and we try to keep stuff up. But at the end of the day, one's in 4th grade and one's in 7th grade. So like missing a quarter of school isn't gonna kill them. They'll catch up.
I saw my nephew's young, and they have their Zoom call with all the kids, and it was one of the cutest things I've ever seen. Like, they go outside like, hey, Hudson, look what I got today. So it's cool to see some of these things when you're at home that you normally wouldn't be able to do. So let's dive in. Team, talk about your team culture. I know you guys have been friends and clients of mine, and so I've been fortunate to know you guys and how you really succeed in the culture field. What are you doing right now to keep morale up and keep that culture positive in these times?
Yeah, I think there's been 2 things. One, having Slack is fortunately that was embedded into our culture long before this ever happened. We use Zoom occasionally here and there, but most of us all came into the office. We worked in the office, and so it was definitely like we were not a remote culture to start with. So it has been tough. Like there's definitely been missing each other and missing some of the whiteboard collaboration that happens. But I think there's 2 aspects to our culture. One, early on, within a week of the whole crisis, as things started going, before it was even official shutdown and social distancing, before it was kind of recommended, and we began pivoting our mission still to support the merchants. We're all about supporting the local business owners, but we realized that we were going to have to shift our platform pretty quickly to support them, and our platform has a vehicle to be able to drive revenue in the door for a merchant by selling virtual gift cards through our app and through email and landing pages and through our merchants' websites. And so we had to do a number of things. That kind of gave us a cohesive focus and mission to rally around, which just helps with culture. So instead of like us worrying about all the problems that we're dealing with, because we have had to take some pay cuts and things along the way to just extend our runway and cash and stuff. So in order to avoid focusing on that stuff and the fact that we're not together, we rallied around this mission to help just support our merchants, bring on as many merchants as possible, to give them this ability to generate cash and revenue today, to help them sustain themselves so they stay in business over the long term. So I think that was key number 1. And then we have this, our mission, our values are called esprit de corps, kind of virtues that we have that are built in and baked into our culture. And the last one is, I don't know if I can say this, so you can just bleep it out, but the last one is achievement is, all right. So the last one is achievement is fucking awesome. So we believe that achievement is fucking awesome, and so that has been just the celebratory culture around wins, about all micro wins, supporting a merchant calls in crying, we're able to help them, to team coming together and getting a piece of code shipped that we needed to ship in order to pivot a little bit. All these things have been a key part of how we've been able to try to draw our culture together.
That's awesome, man. I'm glad you guys are doing that. Kudos to you, and obviously best of luck in these times. Let's talk about some goofy stuff that happens maybe around the household and whatnot. What's some of the most humorous things maybe that's happened, whether you got caught wearing shorts on a Zoom call and stood up, or I've seen some crazy things, and I think the memes and all those funny videos are keeping us alive in this time. But you have anything goofy to potentially share with people watching?
So fortunately, I've avoided anything super crazy, at this point. But we've got a couple of stories, certainly that I'm not sure I'm able to share across the team. We've shared some, good number of things that have happened, but I don't know. I think my son's birthday is coming up, and obviously we can't have a party. He's turning 13, so it's like a big deal, but he's not able to have the party. And he didn't want a Zoom party, so he doesn't want to sit around and talk to his friends on Zoom. He's like, that would be super depressing, Dad. So we're just going to have like a big, well, I should talk quietly because he's like next door, but we're like, we just got a bunch of like inflatable toys, like a big inflatable axe throwing game, which is, I don't know how you throw an axe at something that's inflatable, but we got a giant 25-foot slip and slide we're going to set up, and like we're just going to have fun as a family, like the four of us, and try to do something unique and for this. So no accidents on Zoom or anything, but trying to do something fun for them.
Your client base, I bet you get some real cool stuff too.
Yeah. There's there's been some enough bloopers out there that we've shared internally for sure.
That's good. Now let's talk a little bit about you and I. We briefly spoke about that earlier. The silver lining in this whole thing, right? I'm a glass half full kind of guy. I know you are too. I think that's what brought our friendship together. Same with our cultures, with our companies. Obviously, people are going through some hard times right now, and I know your company and mine, and individually, we're trying to help them however we can. What's something you can maybe share? What you guys are doing? Maybe what you're doing personally or business-wise to help others. And what are some things you've realized? Like, I'm blessed that this happened because da 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 da.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so when we look at the silver linings, there's a few. First of all, we have a platform that is innate, and we had to make some shifts to it, and so we changed some messaging around our buy nows and our gift cards and called them support vouchers, and changed a little bit of the platform and the focus. But we have a software tool that allows merchants to be able to draw from their community support. So, we can't rally the community around the merchant, around that local business owner, right? They've already done that. They've already built their loyal fan base. What we can do is help them communicate with them and get the ability to purchase gift cards and other things out in front of that community. And so we've been able to generate, in the last 4 weeks, we're pushing $750,000 in revenue generated through our platform for our merchants, for our customers. And that number is growing exponentially now, day over day, as we reach out to community. So I think that's silver lining number one, is just the fact that we have a platform that actually helps in today's world. Two, we have a pricing model, kind of built for this type of thing. These merchants don't have to pay us anything right now to generate this revenue. Our pricing model is built around pay-per-visit fees. So ultimately, eventually, when the consumer comes in and visits, sure, we'll take a small little flat fee for that visit. But today, merchants able to generate that cash flow without any payment. And then the third one is just like, as a company, even though our revenue is down, just as a result of everybody just not being out there in the world, and merchants having to pause their accounts, the unit acquisition rate. So just the number of merchants that are coming to us wanting to sign up because of the value that we provide and the type of platform we have, has increased by about 8x over pre-COVID unit acquisition rates. So I think that for us has certainly been the silver lining as well. We've just seen our unit growth and merchant count skyrocket as a result.
And I always want to help you. So, maybe specifically talk about who's that perfect merchant right now might be hurting, and how can you help them? Describe that a little bit. Yeah,
I mean, there's 3 core verticals we focus on. At the same time, in today's world, we can really help a lot of different merchants. But we've focused on the entertainment and attractions industry. So it's like all the fun stuff you do with your family and your friends, like trampoline parks and bowling and laser tag, and then museums and zoos and that kind of stuff. So that's one industry. The health and beauty, so it's like day spas and massage studios and salons and nail salons, hair salons, and then food and beverage, right? Restaurants. So it's all kind of the fun stuff, the leisure stuff that you do to either relax or have fun. Those are our typical merchants that we help. At the same time, we just did a deal, it was announced yesterday, with the city of Tempe, and we're lining up with a few other cities as well, where we're actually driving and working with their economic development groups and partnerships to help drive not foot traffic, but support vouchers to their merchants, and then foot traffic once they can reopen to all of their merchants. So we've opened up our system to be able to help any type of business now that can sell something now that can be redeemed in the future. But so that's kind of the expanded version of what we can provide now.
I love that, man. That's freaking awesome. Do you see this? Obviously, everyone's affected differently, but in your industry, it's very social, right? It's very the opposite of what's happening right now. Do you see a huge ramp up then when this thing passes? And or do you think you're going to see a lot of pivots with how people handle things from safety positioning, from, you know, cleanliness to what are you guys talking about? What are you hearing from Sarah people? I mean, this is an original question. This is just something that is kind of cool to, you know, because you're in that whole world where it's opposite of what is happening right now.
Yeah, I think what you'll see in what we're talking about. So I'm on weekly trade association calls with some of these different trade associations, talking through, because we have a large merchant base across the U.S. and North America, and so we're able to bring a lot of insights and feedback from all of our. You know, we're hearing from our merchants to these trade associations also, but what we're hearing is. You know, one, we do believe that demand will pick up pretty quickly, especially in the entertainment and attractions industries. And well, the hair salon industry too, just because everybody's getting a haircut. But we'll see demand skyrocket, but the capacity will be limited. So there'll be restrictions placed on how many people can come in, the speed in which we can come in, because they're going to need to do cleaning. They're going to need to do screenings around like you know, if you think about a trampoline park or like a place where there's a bunch of kids coming in and normally like running around, noses are running, they're touching everything. Like kids are just, you know, dirty in general, and so are mine, probably more than the most. You know, but they're gonna have to throttle back the number of visits that come in the door. So certainly the demand will be there. It's how fast they can, like, actually the supply will be limited just because of the safety precautions they're going to have to put in place for a period of time until systems are refined, and obviously until we have some sort of protection around a vaccine or something.
Man, dude, this has been so cool. Thank you for sharing this. I'm going to wrap this up. Brandon, how do people get a hold of you? How do they reach out to you and your team, whether it's just to socialize or do business together or just to follow you?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can always be found on, you know, hownd.com. That's HOWND.com. You can find me personally, Brandon at hownd.com, or LinkedIn is always a great place to connect with me. I'm just B Willey, Willey, you know, on LinkedIn. So love to connect. You know, that's how you and I got connected originally, just through you know, one connection to the next. And so happy to do that.
And I love it because so many people are helping each other right now. I think, I'm half full, and I think everyone's going to come out of this better. Everyone's going to come out of this positive. I've seen so many amazing things happen where people are just so much nicer to one another. And I think business is going to be done completely different, where it's not all about climbing at top, it's about helping the people get to the top as well. So, well, cheers, dude. Again, I appreciate it. First MarTINY Shot. Cheers. I have to give a quick shout out. My mom's like, you should do a cute little mini MarTINY Shot from MarTINY Shot from MarTINY Shot. So that's for you, Mom. Cheers, Brandon. Thank you so much again, buddy.
Cheers. Cheers, absolutely.